How are some of these agents generating leads from online? I remember Chris telling me, Shawn, if you just pay for the website and don't blog or don't promote it, you're most likely. All right, I hope you are enjoying the time with your family for the holidays. Got New Year's right around the corner. Today is New Year's Eve. I just went to go to the gym and found out the gym is closed, so shame on me for not planning the right way. But anyways, I just wanted to hop on here and share a conversation I had with an industry friend the other day, and we were kind of talking about lead generation and what's working for us right now in the moment. And one of the things that just started really picking up for us is our presence on Google, mainly getting leads from our website and Google. And one of the ways I believe this happened, and I'll just give you the background story. So when I first opened the agency, I went with a very basic website. I think it was through, I think Big Eye in New York had a partnership with ITC Networks or something like that. I forgot the exact name of it, but we were using them for a while. And then after a year, I wanted to upgrade and get a really solid website and somebody who specialized in the insurance space. So I got hooked up with Chris Langeal over at Advisor Evolved. We were getting the website set up, and I remember having a conversation with Chris and telling him, like, hey, how are some of these agents generating leads from online? Like, if I purchase this website from you and pay monthly, do I just automatically start getting leads? Because I was naive. I didn't know. And I remember Chris telling me, Shawn, if you just pay for the website and don't blog or don't promote it or don't do anything like that, don't do paid ads, don't do any of that, you're most likely not going to get much or anything from the website, except for having obviously a solid presence, right? If somebody tries to search you. So it's like, okay, so I'm going to have to work at this a little bit. And I looked at some other agencies that had solid websites and that were generating a lot of leads. And I'm like, okay, let me see what they're doing. And when I noticed what they were all doing was blogging a ton. They were doing a ton of blogs. They were doing a ton of videos embedded into the blog. They were doing a good job of sharing that blog on social media. And some of them were doing paid ads. Some of them were using a ton of SEO built into the blog, meaning like, let's say you had a niche in trucking. Some people were doing like trucking specific in a certain county in a certain state, and it was very niche specific. So I found that to be interesting. So what I started doing, just some blogs here and there about what we have niches in. And I made it very, very hyper local, right? Like, so we would do like high value homes in Suffolk County, Long Island, New York, stuff like that. And what I noticed is I wasn't really getting much. I maybe got one lead here, 1 week, one lead there, the next month. I really wasn't gaining any traction. And then out of nowhere, honestly, months later, I got 3 leads in a week. And I was like, well, that's kind of interesting. Okay, cool. Maybe this thing's working a little bit. And then was getting about 1 a day. And then before I knew it, I was getting 5 to 7 a week. And that's kind of where we're at now. We're around, I would say on average, about 5 a week, which doesn't seem like a ton. But they're actually pretty good quality leads. And a lot of them are built around the niche landing pages that we built. So like we built the high value Suffolk County one, and that one's doing really well. And we're getting a lot of good traction right now. I'm working on a person who owns a tech company in California. He's moving to New York. He found our website. He wanted to get a quote. Right now we're quoting his home, auto, jewelry, flood, and excess policy, all with Chubb. And it's about a $25,000 premium. And that just came from Google. And it's funny because you can tell when I was talking to this person, he asked if I'm Shawn, we were talking, and you could tell like just from watching the videos of me online and stuff, like there was almost like an instant trust there, which was really cool. And it was somebody who wanted the help, somebody who wanted the better coverage. They wanted to be with a reliable company, and it's just working well. So I think the moral of the story is you just got to be consistent with the content that you put on your website. I can definitely be more consistent on the blogs I do on my website, but we are very consistent about, if you look at our Google page, it's like Google My Business, you could see we have, I think now we're at like 185 5-star reviews. We have our services page built out. We have our areas built out. So there's a lot of different places within Google My Business that you can create. Make sure you have the photos inside and outside of your location. And I will say a lot of the leads that we do get from Google now are people that are hyper local to where our office is. So our office is in Lindenhurst, New York. So a lot of the calls we get from Google are, I just got one yesterday. A guy called me and he's like, hey, who's everyone using for homeowners and auto insurance in Lindenhurst? I live in Lindenhurst. I've been here for 15 years and my rates have just gone through the roof. So, I had to have that fun conversation with him that, everyone's rates are completely different, but, there is something to that hyper local presence. And, the website is definitely one huge part of it, but the other big part of it is having that Google My Business page built out and specific to the city and state that you're in. So, my advice, and again, I'm not perfect at it. There's a lot I can improve on, and that's something I want to do a little bit more consistently is the blogging in 25, is to make sure you have your presence, your website presence hooked up right. If you're not hooked up with Chris Langeal from Advisor Evolved, message me in the comments. I'll get you guys hooked up. He doesn't pay. He's not a sponsor or anything, but I stand 100% by his product. He will tell you how it is, and those are the people that I like to work with. So get hooked up with Chris Langeal. Get hooked up with somebody who knows how to help you build out blogs efficiently, right? Like, because it is a bit of a tedious process. You got to do a video, maybe transcribe it, do a blog. You can use ChatGPT. Make sure you're using AI to help you with the blogs. And that would be my recommendation. Stay consistent with the blogs. Get hooked up with somebody for your website that really specializes in SEO and your local area. And that would be the way to go for 2025.
All right. One thing I wanted to add about the leads we're generating from Google is that we have a few different landing pages, like I discussed before. So we have the restaurant landing pages for our commercial niche. We have the high value homeowners page for our personal lines niche. And one of the other landing page we're looking to build is a flood insurance specific landing page. And the reason why we're doing this is we're in a really coastal area, and a lot of people who need or want flood insurance generally want it because it's required by the mortgage company. And those people tend to live closer to the water and have bigger homes. And, that kind of falls into the luxury personal lines niche, the high value niche, you can call it, that we have. So I feel like that's a good wedge and lead way, kind of like how we lead with workers' comp on the commercial lines. We would lead with flood on the high value personal lines. So that's something we're working on a lot. And another thing I wanted to add to that specifically is it's really important, and this is just a silly mistake I made in the beginning, is not being able to track where the leads came from specifically. So I know this sounds silly, but I made the mistake. So learn from me if you're about to go through this. I had a gravity form through our website. So whenever someone filled out a form on our website, I got an email, hey, this came from your website. All that is great, right? But how do I know if it came from the restaurant website landing page, or it came from the electrical page, or the luxury, the high value page? I wasn't able to tell. So I had to create 4 separate intake forms. This way, when I got notified a lead came in, it told me what specific page it came from. I'm honestly embarrassed to say that out loud, but I figured that out a couple of months ago, and that made a big difference because it told me what I had to tweak. And it just helped me get better numbers as far as, hey, are 90% of these coming from the homepage? Are they coming from the high value page? So a little silly mistake that I wanted to share that hopefully you guys can learn from.